Good morning. How are you all today? Thank you all for viewing with us today, and welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. We're continuing our lessons today from Genesis, the book of Genesis. Today we're in chapter 37, and we'll be looking at the historical record of the spiritual seed of Jacob, and it will be focused on the church, the bride of Christ, with Christ as the bridegroom, and we'll see that as we go through the record. Last week we looked at the natural genealogy of Edom or Esau. This week we will be focusing on Joseph, who is the most complete type of Christ in the Bible, even though him as being the type of Christ is not in a way that you can easily pick up. But we're looking at the spiritual genealogy of Jacob according to the promise given by God, the covenant relationship between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the nation Israel following. And so Genesis chapter 37, verse 1, and Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And so he's talking about Isaac. Verse 2, these are the generations of Jacob. And you would think it would begin with naming of his sons, but the Lord begins with the story of Joseph. And so verse 2, these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil reports. So these are the sons of the handmaidens to Leah and Rachel. And the name Joseph means that God is adding, Adding. But the sons of Zilpah were Gad and Asher. And the sons of Bilhah was Dan and Naphtali. And so Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Joseph was telling on his siblings to their father that they had not done whatever Jacob had sent them to do. Verse 3, now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. And this is like God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish. So Jacob, or Israel, loved Joseph more than all his children. Why? Because he was the son of his old age. And that is, he was an old man by the time Joseph was born. And he made him a coat of many colors. And this coat speaks of the authority given to Jesus to be the made up of many colors or many nationalities, Jew or Gentile, forming the church of God, which is the body of Christ, which is the bride of Christ. So this coat of many colors just brought everyone to the knowledge of being able to be born again through him. Verse 4. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And so this is like the religious leaders are hating Jesus and not willing to come under his authority. Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. Verse 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. Verse 7. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. Looking forward to Joseph and Mary, Mary would bring the Holy Child into the earth realm as from a spiritual seed, because man had nothing to do with the conception or birth of Jesus. And we'll see in the later chapters of Genesis that the brethren of Joseph bowed to him 6 times as put forth in this dream that God had given him. So verse 8 says, And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign or rule over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. The sun represents the Father, and the moon the bride. And speaking of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the 11 stars is the nation Israel, and he was the 12th star. Verse 10. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother bow down ourselves to thee in the earth? Now his natural mother, Rachel, had already died. So it's looking forward to Mary as being the moon, or the reflection of the Son of God in our earthly ministry as ambassadors for Christ, for being light of the world and salt of the earth. Verse 11. And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. So he meditated on what Joseph had told him. Verse 12, and his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Verse 13, and Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And that's Jesus in his earthly ministry coming through the virgin birth. Verse 14. And he said unto him, Go, I pray thee, and see whether it be well with our brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. Verse 15. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And Jesus came to seek and to save that which is lost. Verse 17. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And Dothan is a place that has many wells, pits, or cisterns. Verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And this is a picture of the religious leaders conspiring to slay Jesus. Verse 19. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Joseph cast into the place of death. Verse 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit that is a well. And we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. They thought that they crucifying Jesus would get rid of him, yet they did not understand that he would rise again, according to 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter, verse 21. And First Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben was the firstborn of Jacob. Verse 22, and Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into the pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, the reason was that he may rescue him out of their hands and deliver him to his father again. Verse 23. And it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat, and his coat of many colors that was on him. And in Matthew 27, verse 28, they stripped the robe of Jesus from him while he was on the cross. And they took him, verse 24, and cast him into a pit, and the pit or the well was empty. There was no water in it. Verse 25. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And so these Ishmaelites are descendants of Ishmael. Verse 26, and Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal the blood? Come, Judah says, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren, the rest of them, were content. Verse 28. Then there passed by Midianite merchantmen, And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, comparing it to the 30 pieces of silver whereby Judas betrayed the Lord. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. Verse 29. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he tore his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, that is, Reuben returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and I, whither shall I go? I tried to rescue him, but it failed. Verse 31, and they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood, trying to set up a scenario to tell their father Jacob. Verse 32. And they took the coat, or sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or not. Verse 33, and he knew it, Jacob knew it, and said, it is my son's coat, an evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn or rent in pieces. Verse 34, and Jacob tore his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. And that's what happens when we lose a loved one, and just showing that the humanity of Jesus, he suffered in all points as we do, yet without sin. Verse 35, and all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. 36. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar. And in chapter 39, I believe it is, we'll see that it was at verse 38, it was actually the Ishmaelites who brought Joseph into Egypt. So, reading verse 36 again, and the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard, it would be police in our days, or security guards. And in verse 28, it explains that the Midianites sold Joseph unto the Ishmaelites. Now, the Midianites are descendants of Manasseh, who is Joseph's first son, but he would lose his birthright. So thank you all for listening. We'll continue next time, and you all have a great day and a great week. Thank you. Bye.